So good afternoon and happy Wednesday. My name is Rob Romanowski. I'm the Director of Sales Operations with 3HTI. And today, Zach Carson from PTC's Virtual Center of Excellence is going to take us through a demonstration and a PowerPoint overview of ThingWorx Navigate. So ThingWorx Navigate is a group of applications that will run on top of Windchill that really help people see the information that they need to see, and that's pertaining specifically to them, as opposed to having to sift through a lot of data to find the data and the information that they need. There's also a lot more to it, which is why Zach's going to get into it with a little more detail. So Zach, you have control, and it is all yours.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
So we're going to be taking you through a high-level overview of ThingWorx Navigate today. I won't bore you to death with a PowerPoint. We'll keep it pretty brief, and then we'll spend most of the time working in ThingWorx Navigate and walking you through what the tool looks like. So I want to start just by bringing up some challenges that we see pretty much across the whole industry from talking to a lot of different people when it comes to data management. So a lot of times what happens, you might already know this, information gets siloed. Maybe it's even within your own company and it's needed by everybody, but it's or a lot of times only accessible by certain teams. The problem is it's a big struggle to find an easy way to actually leverage that data throughout your different departments in a way that's easy and convenient for everyone involved. So typically what happens is people start using multiple systems, whether it's because companies are storing information in different places, or maybe it's because teams are using different tools to achieve what they needed to do. Regardless of the cause, it does create a bottleneck when people are trying to view the data and you have to go to multiple sources to find it. Then even within the organization, as I said before, people from different roles may need that data. And while it's easy for people that input the data to find it, other people who may need it for marketing or planning or manufacturing, they struggle to actually get to it because they're not working in these tools every single day. They don't just have an easy way to go in, they need to get out. To build on more, in PLM systems, we'll just say Windchill since that's our product and that's what ThingWorx actually works with. And it's extremely powerful. The jack of trades type of system, so it's usable for tons of different people for tons of different functionalities. But again, for the people who are in, let's say, manufacturing, they're not working in those in PLM systems every day. It can be a challenge for them to go in and quickly find information that they need, easily view it, and then get the most out of it and get out of there as soon as possible. So what happens is your casual users they end up not being able to find what they need. You go to, and I dealt with this firsthand in a previous job, that always end up coming to experts, to engineers, to designers to go into the system and print out drawings and print out bill of materials because they just simply can't find it on their own. And then what happens is sometimes you're dealing with these challenges and then you actually try to deal with them by doing certain customizations and enhancements to your PLM system to make it a little bit easier for the end users or for downstream users to grab what they need. But then you get into the challenge of, all right, well, now we have to maintain that, worry about upgrading that, and whenever we upgrade the rest of our system, and that just brings on its own kind of plethora of challenges with it. So PTC's solution to this is ThingWorx Navigate. It basically provides you with a suite of role-based apps to get more people involved and more easily find what they need to work with. That's really the whole idea here. So what you're seeing on this page is your ThingWorx Navigate home screen. If you've worked in Windchill, you can see it's way more simple than Windchill. It's much more to the point. You can tailor this for the different users to maybe see all of this or see certain tiles within this. But the purpose of it is just to be very easy to use. So we're going to go through these apps today here in the demonstration. But in terms of what you're seeing on this home screen, these are really the out of the box ones. This is what the list includes. So we're talking about viewing drawings to bill of materials and visualizations and document and part structures. And then you can even do some tasks in here as well when it comes to change requests. And then beyond that, even create some custom apps that you can access from here as well. So we're talking about what you're going to be doing with ThingWorx Navigate. The first thing is going in and easily searching for information. So this information is getting pulled directly from Windchill. For the users who come into ThingWorx Navigate, we want them to be viewing the same information, the same versions. It needs to be up to date. So all of that is going to apply. It just needs to be in a tool that's easier to use. And it needs to be in a modern and scalable interface, which is really what ThingWorx Navigate is. You can use it on different devices. You have people using it on laptops, that's fine. Desktops, that's fine. Tablets, even cell phones it'll work on. And what happens then is we've also built ThingWorx on built Navigate on the ThingWorx platform. So there's an interoperability layer there where you can actually use ThingWorx to go in ThingWorx Composer to go in and create dashboards and custom apps that you can actually access and view all from ThingWorx Navigate. Right now, Navigate also provides you with connections to multiple systems. The obvious one is going to be Windchill because that's where the majority of this data is going to be coming from, but it is ThingWorx, so we have the ability to connect to other ERP systems or MES systems or quality systems, whatever source code management systems, whatever the different systems that you're using are, we're going to be able to connect to them, and then you can pull that data into ThingWorx and display it maybe in the form of a dashboard that you build within ThingWorx itself. So this really means you're going to be able to use lots of data from different systems, funnel that information into ThingWorx Navigate, and actually make it the single kind of one-stop shop for everybody to go in and view all the data that's relevant to them. So with that being said, we will go ahead and jump into ThingWorx and we'll take a look at what this tool looks like. Alrighty. So now this is, as you saw before there on the PowerPoint, this is your ThingWorx Navigate home screen. So to put it simply, Navigate is your front end viewer for Windchill data. So whenever you log in, that's going to be what you're seeing. The apps that you're viewing there just depends on the accesses or the visibility that your role has. So someone in manufacturing probably won't have all the same options as maybe a manager who goes into here, or someone from planning who comes into here. But it's really, really easily configurable from user to user. It's literally checking and unchecking boxes. So we're going to say here that I'm in manufacturing. I need to go in and look up an assembly. Now, the problem is in a lot of these systems, it's hard to search. If you have a 10, 12-digit part number, you got to go in. You got to know all the digits or else you're not finding anything. So just like in Windchill, we can do partial searches. If I'm someone from manufacturing, I can come in here, type in my number 1823, and then you see here, it takes me to the screen where I have my information pulled directly from Windchill. So all of this is up to date. It's all the same stuff. It's just easier to look at. So it's broken down. I got my visualization on the left. I have my part structure on the right, my bill of materials. And as I select on different components here, what you'll see is in the top right, I'm going to get a window that pops up that shows me details for the particular selection that I've made. And then on the visualization in the bottom left, you'll even see, just like when you're in Windchill, as you're selecting on the part structure, the corresponding part will highlight there on the opposite one. So if I select in the visualization, it highlights on the part structure. If I select on the part structure, it highlights on the visualization. So it's really, really nice for end users to come in who don't necessarily know the parts as well as, let's say, a designer, because they can come in and actually interact with this and get an understanding of what they're working with, rather than if a lot of this is done with printouts, you're printing out a bill of materials, you're printing out an engineering drawing, and then they're just looking at a piece of paper and kind of cross-referencing between the two whenever they see that number 13 bubble, on the drawing. They're like, all right, where's 13 on my bomb? And then it's easy to kind of read the wrong thing, read the wrong line, and then you get mixed up. So this really clears all of that up. All right, and then what you can do is you can take this, export it maybe as a CSV or something. You can see it just downloads it for you automatically, open it up, and then we'll have the same information from here, just in the form of an Excel file for you. And the information here in the different columns is configurable. So we can interact with this 3D view as well, the visualization. It's coming from Creo View. You could save different orientations. You can even save different view states. So if I wanted to even save something like a view with, let's say, model-based definition on it, different tolerances on it, if I have maybe machinists working in here, then I can actually create view states for that and save them to this as well. And the 3 buttons on the right there with the visualization, really the whole idea with those, just give me more of an understanding. Let me interact with this model. Select on different components and move them away. You know, maybe I have a piece that is really, it's like a shell maybe, and it's taking up a lot of space and I want to see what's inside. You know, I can come in here and I can move components away. I can select on different things and hide them or isolate them. There's lots of different, you know, options just to come in here for the downstream users and understand what they're dealing with. All right. Now, rather than going back to my home screen and clicking on the different tiles, it's actually something that I can do from right here as well. So if I'm ready to, maybe I've looked at this part structure, I've looked at the visualization, and I want to get a little bit more information about this assembly, then I can actually go to one of the other apps, same ones that were on the home screen, just by clicking on the tiles here. And you'll see this is more of my, I'll just call this a more extensive bill of materials. So again, it's configurable. Pick and choose what information you want here. The same principles on this screen applies to the previous one where you select on something, you get the details in the upper right. This screen, the way that I have it set up is kind of nice because it also shows if there's any associated drawing files here, right? So you can come in here, maybe the end users would have their bill of materials, they'd see all the information for this assembly, but then within that assembly, there's going to be some sub-assemblies in there. You could actually just link the drawing files here so that they could print out all of it from one place. Okay, there's some additional attributes. I have my view and measure 3D. So if you have experience with Windchill, then you probably know about Creo View. Creo View is something that we can access from ThingWorx Navigate as well. It's going to exactly the same. It's the same. So if you want to, maybe if you have, let's say, QA might be someone that's going to use, might be a group of people that are going to use ThingWorx Navigate. So they want to come in here and maybe add a comment or measurement and maybe report a problem that they have, even that they found even during their inspection, and they want to save it. So then it will launch some sort of workflow that you have set up in Windchill. You can do that sort of thing here from Navigate using Creo View. Right, so here we have our drawing, pretty straight to the point here. And then the last option within this manufacturing apps category is the bundle. So what we can actually do is take all of your design files, right? So if you use Windchill, these are the objects, the files inside of your WT part. Then I can actually reference documents within that WT part. So I can open this up and download that bundle. It'll download it for me as a zip file. And then I can share it off or save it to my computer or whatever. Okay. Again, just another example of some information we might have in here. Our drawing with our PMI on it. So if you have machinists working in here, they can also use this to grab what they need as well. And I mentioned before, you know, that you could save different view states with MBD. So this is what that would actually look like. They could actually see this stuff right in the context of that visualization, the 3D visualization. Okay, so we're going to change roles now to someone that's from a different department that might use this app a little bit differently. So in this case, it's going to be, previously we were in manufacturing, now we're going to be someone from purchasing. So you can already tell just from the home screen I'm looking at different tiles. I don't have access to all of the applications that the manufacturer that we were logged in as previously had access to. So all of this is going to be role-based. Now, let's say here, I want to come in, I want to look for some documentation based on our shocks that we're getting from Fox. I want to see this is something that's coming from the supplier that I'm storing in here. Again, this originally is being managed in Windchill. It's uploaded in Windchill. You can see I even have a hyperlink to open it in Windchill. You can turn that on and off. But I am just using Navigate to easily access and view. That's the whole purpose of this. All right, now this is way easier for someone, a downstream kind of casual user of Windchill, to come into Navigate and get what they need, as opposed to going into Windchill to do it. Same sort of idea if I'm looking for maybe some safety documents. Now, what you'll see with this one is, it's not just individual documents we're looking at. We can have document structures built out. They're going to work the exact same way in Navigate as the actual manufacturable parts that we were looking at before did. So have my structure, click on it. I can see the details in the upper right in the window that pops up. I can even open the actual document from there as well. So this is a tool that, honestly, you can get in it today and you can figure out how to use it in a few minutes. It doesn't really have much of a learning curve. All the attributes, the filterable attributes and such that you have in Windchill will propagate over to here as well. And in this case, what I can even do is maybe come into this and report some sort of issue, such as the example that I mentioned before with someone from QA. And that's going to be part of a workflow so that whenever I report a problem, it will go to the appropriate user in Windchill, who will then review that problem and determine if a change needs to happen or not with it. Last thing here, download drawing bundle. So this is a nice little tool because this will just download a zip file of the parts that are within this assembly that I have searched. And I don't have to go and search for them individually. It will just download them as a zip. I can send it to somebody. It includes the attribute information. It includes the drawing files. And it was just a click of a button. Right there's all my PDFs. Lastly here, I want to log in as one more user. So this one is a product manager. And sometimes, there's a misconception where this app is only really used by end users. So as I said, manufacturers, assemblers, people like that. And it is great for them. It's amazing for them. But it's not just limited to those types of users. Someone like a manager might come in here as well, who most of what they're doing is going to be viewing content, but they also have slightly more work to do. They're not necessarily the ones designing, but they have to oversee everything. They have to sign off on certain things and approve certain things and review certain things. We can do that in Navigate as well. So there's this change management task collection where I can come in here, and we went through before briefly there what it's like to report a problem. So maybe I could do this as a manager. Maybe I could do this actually as even someone on the shop floor who, as they're doing an assembly, they realize, hey, I can't bolt this thing on. There's a bracket in the way, and they take pictures of it to document or to document the problem, and then they attach the problem, and it goes to engineers going to address that. Part of the workflow, they don't have to worry about when they find on the shop floor, who do I go to now to tell? Maybe I go to a product manager, maybe I go to engineering, and I try to find the right person, and I tell them, you could just report it from here. Or maybe you want to even just take it to your manager, and then they can report the problem. The point is, it's way more efficient, and you can make sure that it's going to the right person with this. Within Navigate, as I mentioned, managers, people with a little bit more authority can also get a lot of value out of using Navigate. So within here, we have this change management task section, and this is all about change requests. So what I'm able to do as a manager, which is what I'm logged in as now, is I can actually go into my change request tasks that have been assigned to me as part of a workflow in Windchill, and I can review them from ThingWorx Navigate. So that's what that list that you're looking at here is. Maybe I want to come in here and I want to reassign them to a new user. Maybe I want to actually open some of them up, really examine them and give feedback on them. Then I can just click on that hyperlink and I can see all the details that go into this change request. So there's our description. Here's the full details of who's working on it, what their roles are, when they last modified it, what the proposed solution for this is. Again, all coming from Windchill. There's my list of affected items. So typically, if you've done changes traditionally in Windchill, then you know these different categories already. Full affected items list here. So I can get as a manager, don't have to go into Windchill to get an understanding of what all is going to be affected by this change. And then maybe there's a specific part I'm concerned about. I can go into that. I can look at it. Don't have to even do another search. I'm just clicking on the hyperlinks there that were in the change request. Then I can check out this seat and say, all right, yep, everything looks good. I'm going to go back. I reviewed this. We're in good shape. I want to come in and maybe now that the design looks good, I want to look at a certain attachment, the PDF that's directly from Polaris in this case. Review that, get some insight, and then once I'm good, I can just give feedback. I can either approve it or reject it. You can also require an e-signature there as well to show that it's been signed off on. In this case, we'll open this up. We reviewed all the information. You can see there's my e-signature that's required. So I will approve this and type in my username and password to complete the signature. And there's my e-signature. So my task has been completed. I signed off on it. And now you can see here in the status column, it's been completed. And since this is part of that Windchill workflow, it would then kick off to whoever's next in line and whatever their role is. The last thing that I want to show here is if I go into tasks, once again, this is more of an admin type of thing. All of the information that you're looking at in Navigate is configurable. So the different attributes, the different columns of information, a lot of it's just drag and drop. You can really configure anything. I mean, what apps people are using, who has access to what, whenever they look at the parts list, what the columns are they're seeing, even between user and user. So very easily configurable tool that we have here. And the last collection on the home screen is the custom task collection. So these are actually going to be built using ThingWorx Composer, which is, you get a light version, I think, of ThingWorx Composer with Windchill, or I'm sorry, with Navigate. But you can build apps here that display different dashboards, different reports that connect to different systems and maybe pull that in. So, a big one that people use with PLM is the ERP system. Cost information's in there. Maybe you want to have a category here that shows the cost information in some, way, shape, or form. Or in this case, I'm looking at a change notice dashboard where I can link to Windchill, or I can chart and see the status of all the different change notices I have. How many are resolved, how many are being implemented, how many missed the deadline, beat the deadline, so on and so forth. So that is what I wanted to go through for this demonstration of ThingWorx Navigate. So we took on a few different roles there within a company and dove into how Navigate really optimizes the ability to access relevant, up-to-date information via role-based applications. So you saw how easy it is for users really with limited information or limited experience to come into the system and maneuver through this tool and have a very easy time getting the information and the data that they need. So with that being said, I want to wrap up here by summarizing what Navigate can do for you. So first and foremost, companies are spending a lot of money to collect this data. If you don't have an easy way to access and distribute it to everybody, you are dramatically slowing down your design, production, and business processes. Navigate gives you a very user-friendly interface for inexperienced, infrequent users to jump in and find what they're looking for. And because it's so easy to deploy and use, you're getting a return on your investment very fast, and the value will be recognized almost immediately. You're involving all the stakeholders. Product development needs to involve everybody earlier and more often, and Navigate allows you to do that. You can collaborate with more employees, get more insight, and that's going to lead to a better product. And then finally, put it all together, you're going to reduce errors and cost. More people can get the information they need. More people have insight. You have a connection between downstream users and the teams that are actually going through and designing these different products you have. So that's what I had planned to go through for this demonstration of ThingWorx Navigate.
Cool. Nicely done. Very nicely done. So we have a few questions.
All right.
Not surprised. So first question is, does Creo View need to be installed on the local computer? And if so, when do we think that Navigate will support a web-only client to prevent the distribution and installation of the CV client for users?
I believe that depends on the package. I actually think that Creo View Express or Lite does not need to be installed, which is the most basic form of Creo View.
Correct.
You're not getting any extra tools or features or anything.
Correct. Creo View Express is you can just download it on your phone and you can use it. So that works anywhere. Okay, next question. Can you customize download drawing bundle to download CAD content as well as a PDF?
You can.
All right, cool. Next question, could those reported problems output an SAP Maximo work order using ThingWorx?
Let me read that. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't see why not. You're just going to have to connect to SAP. If you already have Windchill and it's already connected to SAP, then I don't see that being an issue. But there's going to have to be a connection between Windchill and SAP, or ThingWorx and SAP.
Okay, cool. Next question, does manager approval require more than a view license?
Yes, it does. It requires a contribute license, I believe is the name of it.
And lastly, which change objects are supported in Navigate? This particular organization only uses CR and CN and would like to have the participants use Navigate versus the creators.
Yep, so as it stands right now, it's change requests exclusively. I'm not sure if there's plans to change that moving forward, but at the moment, change requests.
Cool. So that's it for our questions. If you feel you have another question, something comes up, you can send me those questions or contact me by replying to the email invitation for this webinar. Those emails come directly to me. You can email us at info@3hti.com, or you can even call us at 866-624-3484. So that's going to conclude our webinar for today. Zach, thanks a lot for leading the webinar. I thought it was very well done and very informative. And we're going to start our wind chill series, where starting in actually we started a while ago, but we're definitely going to have a new series starting in May, where we're going to have a wind chill webinar twice a month. So the whole purpose of these webinars is to help inform people of what, everything from the basics, from what PLM is or what PDM is, to some tips and tricks within the capabilities of wind chill. So thanks for being on, everybody. The recording will be sent out sometime tomorrow. And once again, if you need anything, be sure to get in touch with us. Thanks again.